guys, welcome back to Logical as always, and we're going to be going over the 1.15 patch notes, so we are. Yeah, it's been a while, so it has. Yeah, it's been a while since you've seen me at this size, so it has. Alright, let's have a gander. So you've got Akira is going to be the new mid laner. Is, if anything, whenever new characters come out, they're normally very strong. I don't think Akira is going to be any different. I have a feeling he's going to be one of the more powerful mid laners. If you have seen his hero overview, you will understand why. Between CC and just pure damage output, I have a feeling he's going to be exceptionally scary. We'll leave it at that. Moving, so again, I'm not. The only thing that really does have me intrigued is his passive, giving him different buffs depending on who he takes, because he has. I would probably nearly say he's probably one of the most flexible characters now, because if you're going to build Dreadnought, Sovereigns, Divines, or Anomalies, like there's a lot of combinations that you can run with. Now again, I'm not going to dig too deeply into his numbers, because again, these are going to change. Again, we've seen Legion get hot fixed out the ass because he was just popping off everywhere he went. So again, that's how I see that. New store information, obviously the summer store is in. I'm not too opposed to that there. Not a bad store, to be fair. Good skins. Not gonna lie. Obviously the rank split's coming up, which means that I was unsuccessful at getting to Paragon. But for the sake of argument, I'll take what I can get. So, well, eventually I will achieve Paragon. This is the entire point of Road to Paragon. We are going to learn, we're going to get better, we're going to brute force it. There's also, just now that I bring that up, there's also now a second thing I have to actually grab, you know. I'll do that in a second though. I'll show you this later, so well, right. Obviously, new skin, the new Terra skin looks absolutely fucking phenomenal. Don't care. Looks fucking beautiful. So it does. Like, let them cook. Let them cook. Toxicity improvements, I'll always like. Quality of life improvements. We have improved the background scenes. Okay, across. Okay, not bad. Just makes life across the board a little bit easier. Role recommended. So I'm assuming this is down to your personal playstyle. New Opal effects. Not gonna lie. ARAM is a good, just if you want to just sit back and relax. So it is, but we already know that the majority of it is going to be the big one. Like I says, it's currently split between the two main maps. Sunbreak, I think it's called, and the original map that we have. New and returning items. So one of the Earth Spirit got removed and is now turned into Gamma Gloop, which is going to be interesting. And Rebirth has been reworked. Instead of a frontline, it's now a fighter. So interesting. Daybreak version 6. Fair enough. Bigger map. Again, need to get back into actually playing Daybreak a bit more, so I do. I don't know why it's just taking me a minute just to get used to that map, so it is. Obviously, buffs across the board, buffs and nerfs across the board. Then you also have the Summer Summit, which that's okay. Gameplay balance changes. This is the start of the real stuff that we have to get into, right? Because we have general comeback XP. Starting level difference increases from 1.5 to 1.75. Start value decreased. Okay. Value increased 1 addition. Level difference. Okay. Level difference cap. So there's now a cap. Well, there always was a cap, but now it's cap. The cap has been increased, so that's good. Towers again. Towers are towers. Minions. Yes. Hero aggression is now going to be an interesting one, because it means that you're not just going to be able to dive your opponent now in the middle of a minion wave, because now the minions are going to hard focus your fucking hero, so be careful. So they are. So that's going to be interesting. Jungle, they've actually buffed jungle quite a bit, so they have, because they have tried to sort of nerf it a bit. Standard jungle, red and blue buff are now worth the same total number of creep score. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, that'll help. And then you got Hunt and Wild Hunt. Hunt now restores HP on using it slash jungle monsters. Scion gold buff excluded. Oh, Scion gold buff has been excluded. Okay, that's not bad. That's pretty good. So it is. Fixed an issue where Hunt's sleigh damage could be increased by Demiurge. Didn't know that. But then you don't really see Demiurge in the jungle very often, to be fair. Just to be clear on that. Red buffs now deal 5% current health, reward from 6 to 5. Yeah, so they're trying to curb. They're trying to curb junglers at the minute because junglers are always ganking with full health. Where is it? They said it back up here, I believe. They'd said something about junglers being just a royal pain in the ass because I think it's on down. It might be on down, so it might be. Because it's down in the jungle improvements. So it is. We're all the way down in Eternals now, so we're all the way down here. Hang on. Where was it? There. Camp leaders with monster camps now deal health because helps ensure that junglers are not always present and able to spam gank on the map at 100% health as a result. So that's why. Eternals, this is the big one because this is going to be the interesting one. So I believe Gunko recently released his tier list for these. I'll have to go back and watch the full thing again. I think I only got through the first 4 or 5 before I had to leave. So I'll have to return and watch it. So I will, because I do technically agree with a lot of what he says. So I do. So Major Blessing, max health damage decreased. See, this I don't get why. Because Vermes can't keep up. That's a big thing. Vermes can't keep up with the big health tanks. So nerfing its damage really does hinder him quite a bit. Additionally, missing health from 4 to 3.5. So Crush is being adjusted to deal more damage, but at the cost of having a per target cooldown. Okay, so immobilized targets take damage. Okay, soft rework. Now has a 8-second cooldown per target. Fair enough. Breach, unlike other blessings, have reduced strength. This is for the ultimate, I believe. So it is unlike various other Vermes blessings that are all being reduced in strength as part of the broader power reduction. Breach is being offered as some additional potency as it currently struggles to compete with the other options in the set, which is Shred, the Shred and Reduction. And then you got subsurface damage reduction decreased from 8 to 7. Again, Vermes struggles to keep up anyway, so I don't think this is going to help him very much. Marrow is another one that you will rarely see. Omnivamp has been decreased as well. Jealousy has been reworked, while at or below 100. Oh, okay, Jealousy's pretty good. I like that. I like that one. And then less damage but more consistency. That's a good combination. But Marrow you don't see very often. That's a big issue though. Is you don't see Marrow very often. So it will be interesting to do a bit of testing with him. I don't see it making massive changes, but we'll see. Thrax, major blessing, damage decreased. Thrax is being spammed all over the shop. Ferocity, total attack speed decreased from 1.5 to 1.25. It's not a major issue. Nahil is another one that I will say is probably not the best. It's wickedly overshadowed by Thrax. We'll say that much. But nerfing his modifier or nerfing the major blessing might not be the best idea here. Crix, Festering Wounds, Festering Wounds has been adjusted to apply anti-heal effects upon applying an immobilizing effect to a target, as well as when dealing dot damage. Oh, so it does both now. This is due to the previous condition where occurring dot damage is a niche. Yeah, fair enough. So it now also applies upon immobilizing enemies. Now this is nasty because you've got the likes of Steel and other characters who can really abuse this. Then you also got Predator. I'm surprised they didn't actually. I'm actually kind of surprised that they didn't touch the health scaling on this big bastard. So it did, because that's interesting, right? So Predator, damage upon killing camp leaders increase. Okay, so it's just faster sustained or damage upon killing has been increased, and then also you get movement speed as well. So that actually helps with your jungling, which isn't bad. Idrisil, Another one that is very rarely used in my opinion. Damage decreased. That's mending. That's not a major problem. Vesh. Ability damage increased. Mages are really strong at the minute. So having Vesh in there and him being buffed is a bit dangerous. Ability haste from takedowns is now capped at 15, so total 30 total max haste. Takedowns also restore 50% mana. They've capped a lot of the infinite scalers they have, so that's good. They have capped them, but yeah, so these that one there's capped. That one there still isn't capped, but again, it's per minute, so it is interesting. Zyrus, I believe that's how it's called. Damage is decreased from 4 to 3. Yep. Damage per 10 units killed decreased from 0.6 to 0.4. Bonus damage from enemy units is capped at 400 unit kills. Once this change was implemented, he popped off. Right? Further, attack speed duration decreased from 4.5 to 4. Okay. Iron Will. Hitting on critical strike decreased from 8 to 7. Call the Wake. Monster and minion damage decreased from 8 to 7. Because again, this sped up your farm. You were legitimately just outscaling your opponent via pure gold. So they were. And then Bone Collector, they got rid of the 5% critical damage. The fact that you can remove an entire critical item means that this was just overkill, because you're already grabbing Imperator, you're already grabbing Vank. They're your go-to double crit item, because that's where your kills come from. So they are. You've got immense damage with a potential to kill under 5% health. Like, it is absurd. Exarch is a bit of an interesting one, because again, they were looking to do a damage reduction, but they reduced even more, so they do. So preservation got reduced from 15 to 12. Further, magical power scaling decreased from 6 to 5. Omnipresent out of combat movement speed decreased from 8 to 7. Delayed fate damage conversion to dot damage decreased as well. That one there specifically is very dangerous, because that turns a lot of damage into dots. Very easy to deal with, because you can out health regen it. So you can. Lotus is the big one in my opinion. Lotus is the snowballer's wet dream. So it is. Damage decreased from 1.5 to 1. Good. But it hasn't touched the rest of them. But then again, it is a random. You get a random assortment of buffs every minute or takedown. But this one here is good, because it will curb a lot of the damage. Masterpiece movement speed on takedown decreased from 6 to 5. Good, because it stops you from being able to speed blitz. Prima Donna damage dealt decreased. I'm actually surprised this got nerfed, because I'm not gonna lie, people have been getting bodied with this. People think they forget that they take this and then wonder why they're getting insta-gibbed in lane. So they do. And then fragrance damage decreased from 5 to 4. Fair enough. Demiurge. Major blessings. Bonus item stat decreased. Yeah, 10%. That's okay. Tricore 6 to 5. Yeah. Cursed Corrupted. Ability haste conversion is a little bit less now. So it is converted from 1% critical strike chance. Ability haste converted from 1% critical strike chance is 1 to 0.8. That's not bad. Memory leak, mana from ability cost 5, and then caps out at 500. This is because you had mana stacker builds that were absolutely running rampant. I'm sorry, some of the mana stacker builds were absolutely savage. I'm not even joking. Some of them were absolutely barbarism. So they were. Ion. Major blessing. Gold from ability damage decreased from 8 to 7. Ground. Arcane resonance. Cooldown progression decreased from 1% per 1 mana regen to 1.75 per 1 mana regen. We spotted a Countess pop off on a mana regen build. Actually proper pop off. I don't know what the hell was going on there, but she was running circles around people. Now on to the characters. Now again, to be fair, a lot of these characters you will not notice. Well, I don't notice them very often, because Adele is always banned. I don't know why, because anytime there's an Adele in my team, we lose. So I don't know why she is banned. Seed of Dominion, augment, cooldown reduction decreased, Tyrant of Thorns, Effectiveness has been increased. Okay, that's a buff. Allied damage decreased from 7 to 6. Good. Imperial Lash damage decreased. Okay, so across the board nerfs. Argos. Infinite obliteration sound practice speed increased by from 25 to 50. Good, because you want it to be a lot more like Murdoch's ult. This will help, because trying to land those cross maps with Argos is very difficult. General mana regen increased. Finally, thank you. Physical power growth increased. Why? He doesn't build physical power. Power growth shredder mana decreased. Are you nuts? It's decreased in the early game, but then goes back to normal at the late game. Okay, that's gives him makes him more comfortable in lane, so it does. Synaptic Obliterator can now be cancelled after firing a shot instead of having to wait for the recovery animation to fully finish before it can be cancelled. Fair enough. Bale, another one that you'll something you actually see him quite a bit, but let's see what happens. Swift Strikes augment. Third damage modifier increased from minus 25 to 20. Damn, okay. Dire Howl, secondary. Mana cost increased, good. Omnivamp decreased, good. Cooldown increased, good. That made him a nightmare to deal with. Boris, Tesseract Device, which is his passive. Attack speed per canceller decreased, good. Zap damage decreased, good. Boris is savage. So he is Countess, Bloodwell, fixed an issue where the health bars could display a shield and become distorted when Countess used a Bloodwell augment. That happens so often, it is actually ridiculous, because you're sitting wondering, where the fuck did she get all that shield from? And she's not building shields, just a glitch. So that's okay. Crunch! We know what happens. So it's 2 augments. Total attack speed increased from 6 to 7.5. Stacks decreased from 5 to 4. Okay. Falcon Punch augment. Damage modifier increased from 10 to 15. Health increased. Okay. And Cross Crunch passive. Total power scaling increased. Magical scaling power increased. Rate Crunch. Physical power scaling increased. Magical scaling increased. He's fucking nuts. Crunch. Or he hits hard enough as he does. Decker. Polarity Strike augment, shields increased, buffs, general buffs. Can't really argue. Decker was also another one of the ones that really struggled in lane. She did run out of mana quite a bit, which was quite interesting. Do you want to know something? I love their sense of humour, but I love their sense of humour. Gadget, Sticky Man go brrr. Sticky Man primary. Impart Sticky Man Spark VFX have been adjusted to be more noticeable. Grand. Gideon, Cosmic Power passive, fixed an issue where Gideon could lose access to his tether ability upon death. Greystone. Health growth increased, that's dangerous. Mana increased, that's dangerous. Make way, damage increased. Are you wise? Greystone's probably one of the strongest offlaners at the minute, and possibly one of the strongest junglers at the minute, because it's hard to box him. You just can't strictly box him, so you can't. Howitzer, Omnivamp per stack decreased from 2 to 1.5. Thank God, because that's a Sniper Shells augment. Kalari! Again, another character that gets banned because I think people just don't want to be... People don't want to ward. That's what that is. People don't want to ward. Deathmark passive, missing health damage decreased. Good. And Shadow Walk is primary. Health regeneration, physical penetration, scaling decreased. Good. I'm not fussed on that there. Contagion primary, bug fix. Fix an issue that allowed contagions effect to be cleansed. Oh, it's not meant to be cleansable. Interesting. Murdoch. I'm nearly sure they've went after this augment a few times. Bonus shot fire decreased from 300 to 250. That's not bad. Physical power scaling. Physical power decreased from 61 to 59. Ooh, that actually might hurt him a wee bit. Shots fired passive decreased, and buckshot decreased. His damage was a bit on the nuttier side sometimes. His damage was a bit nuttier. Muriel, general, physical power growth. Again, I don't know why. Electric cooldown increased. Okay, all damage reduction decreased from 40 to 35. Stops her from being able to save everybody in a team fight. So it does. Neon Final Thread Ultimate delay before ability can be recast, increased from okay. Revenant, another one of the heavy hitters that you don't really see, but always beats Legion for some reason. Mana growth increased. That seems about right. Obliterate. Damage increased. Are you insane? Scar increased. Hellfire rounds increased. Are you nuts? Fourth shot, monster damage cap. Okay, yeah, that's okay. Revenant is one of these strict hard counters. If you let a Revenant go, even if a Revenant gets to late game, guys, and you're stomping him, all it takes for him to get stronger, especially with his augment that allows him to steal physical and magical power, he is going to body. His damage gets out of control so quickly. You really do have to, I have to reiterate, you have to be careful whenever you're dealing with a Revenant. Phase. Armor growth decreased. Okay. Telekinetic link. Delay before link breaks at max range decreased. Okay, that's not too bad. And hyperflux attack speed decreased. Good, because she was again, you still had the god combo of her and Sparrow. That was an annoying combo. Was an annoying combo, still is an annoying combo. Severog. Reaper of Souls passives. Health per stack increased from 1 to 2. Are you fucking wise? Well, the health gain per tier increased. I think they got their numbers back to front. Good though. From 50, 100, 200, 400 to 480, 180, 350. I think that might have been a bit of a typo. But that there, that's going to have some serious stacking ramifications. Siphons did decreased from 30 seconds to 15 seconds. Okay. Bonus monster damage increased. Good, thank you, because that was needed. The absolute margin of error for Severog to get his stacks was absolutely brutal. Augment no longer reduces rushing beats cooldown by 5% more than intended. Okay. Terra. Iron Resolve augment. Wild Rush reduction decreased. Okay. Ruthless Assault. Damage decreased. Third Strike increased. That's not too bad. Wild Rush. Damage increased from... damage increased from... Yeah. Yeah. Better. Faye, possibly one of the more annoying characters as well, because I think I ran Faye support and was a nightmare. Mana growth increased from 27 to 32. Good. Moving speed decreased. Good. Stops her from rotating as fast. That was our biggest pain in the ass. Magical power scaling decreased. I'm not too miffed about that there. And then mana cost decreased. Not too bad. Wukong. Health growth decreased. Good, because he was a nuisance. Decreased, and his ultimate decreased as well. Good, because Wukong's one of those ones that you can't leave alone. Again, I have seen videos back whenever it was Paragon, and Wukong had taken inhib by, I think, 7th minute, because he was just able to wail on it with all his clones. I've seen some shenanigans with Wukong, so I don't think I've been Wukong in Predecessor just yet, but that's primarily because I'm not good with stance switchers. Bit of practice can fix that though. Oh, Wraith, this ought to be interesting. Stealth Matrix, augment, surprise, increase cooldown modifier, decrease from 20 to 10. Okay. Peekaboo, primary, mark max health damage, decrease, surprise. Do you want to know something? I'm not going to complain about that there. Nerfs to Wraith are always going to be good. Yin is probably one of the most prevalent junglers I've seen at the minute, and she has pulled off some extremely extraordinary stuff, so she has. Fixed an issue where Yin could gain stacks of Storm Rising from a single strike when using various Eternal Blessings. Yeah, I've seen that. Windburn decreased. Good. Again, for as much as Yin is good, she is just too strong at the minute. This is the one that I'm looking at though. Zinx. Terminal treatment. Bonus refibrillator on hit damage decreased from 60 to 50. That should hopefully curb her a little bit. Basic attack time increased. Oh! Magical power scaling decreased. I'm actually really happy about that, because Zinx is probably one of the most volatile characters at the minute, because you'll see her in offlane, you'll see her in mid lane, you'll see her in support, you'll see her as fucking carry. She has been a colossal... Zinx's ability to run rampant with magical unhit builds outside of the support role is currently too high, and is seeing a range of reductions to ensure that it is brought down to a more reasonable level. Thank you, because she was a pain in the ass. Earth Spirit removed. Eviscerator loses a bit of Omnivamp. Resolution. Darksteel unhit damage scaling increased. That makes mana stackers better. Not gonna lie with that. That'll make mana stackers better. Sky Splitters get losing a bit of damage. Stormbreakers losing a bit of damage. These two are normally running conjunction, so not gonna lie. Accolon Cloak, again, not an item that I think that is ever really looked at. Cost has been decreased, physical power has been increased, cooldown has been decreased. Not too bad. Fighter, Citadel, physical armor increased from 35 to 40. Okay, Rebirth has been reworked and re-enabled. Astral Catalyst, cost increased. Okay, magical power increased alongside it. Okay, Claw of Hermes, probably one of the stronger items, has had its magical power decreased. Gosson's Greaves, I think that's how it's pronounced. Physical armor has been increased. Okay, Oathkeeper mana increased from 250 to 275. Fixed an issue where Oathkeeper was granting 0 health. Oh, okay. Soulbinder, Farseer cooldown decreased from 10 to 8. Thank fuck. We definitely needed that. Time Warp, base mana regen increased from 125 to 150. Not bad. Tank, Giant's Ring. Physical armor increased. Stonewall, health increased and health regen increased as well. And Transference has removed 4% off that speed boost. So that will hopefully hinder Speedy Gonzalez Richter. And probably Terra as well, because being able to run down after a shield slam was bad, and then you get the standard ARAM fixes, so you have where I think it's mostly just a lot of damage reduction shenanigans. But yes, all in all, I don't see there being any actual massive changes. Nobody got sufficiently hit or modified enough that would warrant any major changes to what I'm currently doing. So it's just to make that very clear. There's been no major changes that would warrant me changing anything that I am doing. Nobody got sufficiently nerfed. Nobody got sufficiently buffed. And that is what it is. They've all just gotten tweaks. So it is. Because I'm assuming they're going to wait. I don't know when they'll again, balancing is always going to be a headache regardless to which way you want to swing it. But for the meantime, I'm quite happy with it. Again, let them cook. They know what they're doing. And I'm quite happy about it. And let's just see where it goes from there. That's simply it. I think I'll end up probably finishing this ranked season in gold. So I will. So fingers crossed on that. Now, on to the second and last thing that I wanted to bring up. If I do that, yep, that's what it is there. Pred GG. I'll show you this now just so you know, right? If you actually go in, you can actually find me now. Finally have my account linked. You will actually find me and you will see what the situation is. Again, I'm never going to turn around and claim that I am the most phenomenal player. Funnily enough though, every scatter match I've won bar this one here. That was a surrender though, so that was a bit shit. But yes, you'll get the general idea. Are them my win rates? Hot dog, hot dog, hot diggity dog, hot dog, hot dog, hot diggity dog. I've played one match with Mako, one match with Eden, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I haven't played Wukong though. Where's Wukong at? I've played 0 matches with Wukong. Wukong should be at the absolute bottom here. Like, I haven't played a match with Wukong. I don't even think Wukong's on this list. Wukong's not even on the list, guys. So yeah, like that if you want evidence, there's evidence of everything that I talk about. So if you're ever wondering if I'm being an idiot, you can track my shit now, so you can. So again, if you want to, you can see my shit for yourself. So you can. I've got a 50% win rate, which isn't great, but it's not terrible either. So it is what it is. So again, guys, hope you all enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe if you didn't enjoy. And remember, guys, not everything goes to plan. Bye!